Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're the place you come to unpack complex topics and really get the core insights from the sources you send us.
That's right.
Today, we're diving into something really specific and honestly often misunderstood. It's the world of targeted individuals, or TIs.
Hmm.
We've got source material from someone who actually identifies as a TI, calls himself T. Mike, and our mission really is just to understand the claims, the experiences he describes, see it from his perspective.
Exactly. We're not here to judge, right?
Yeah.
Not validating or invalidating.
Well, just presenting the information clearly how this individual sees this pretty extraordinary phenomenon.
And this source, it's quite something. It's a detailed first-person account. T. Mike gets into the whole alleged process becoming a TI, the harassment methods, the tech he says is used, even like protection strategies.
Yeah. So our job is to kind of synthesize all these unique claims for you, lay them out so you can grasp the experiences and perspectives of people who believe they're being targeted in this way. Okay, let's get started then.
Let's do it.
So after that welcome, let's dive right in. First off, according to T. Mike, who is a targeted individual, what makes someone a TI? And how does this whole targeting thing allegedly kick off?
Okay, so T. Mike defines a TI as someone perceived as a threat, usually to, quote, the establishment.
A threat how?
Well, maybe they're whistleblowers, or they know too much about something sensitive, or, interestingly, he even mentions paranormal means as a potential trigger.
Paranormal means. Okay. And he says this is happening everywhere.
Yeah, he claims it's a global thing, potentially millions affected. And before it gets intense, there's this alleged pre-targeting phase.
Pre-targeting.
He suggests it can take a couple of years. And during this time, some kind of investigative program is supposedly building this really detailed psychological profile.
A psychological profile. So like finding out everything about you.
Pretty much. Likes, dislikes, weaknesses, fears, all gathered before the active targeting starts, according to the source.
Okay, so they build this detailed profile over potentially years. And then what? What does T. Mike say happens next? Is that when the organized harassment stuff begins?
Exactly. That's the transition point into what the source calls organized gang stalking. And this is where things apparently get really intense.
Okay, organized gang stalking. How does he define that?
He actually calls it an occult form of mind control used against a person.
Occult? That's a strong word. And the goal?
The stated purpose is really malicious. It's about reducing someone's quality of life completely, pushing them towards a nervous breakdown, or leading to incarceration, being institutionalized, constant pain, mental, emotional, physical homelessness, or, even driving them to suicide.
That's incredibly dark. What kind of methods are we talking about?
It's a long list in the source material. Things like orchestrated accusations, spreading lies and rumors, bogus investigations, setups, framings.
So really messing with someone's reputation and life circumstances.
Right. Plus intimidation, threats sometimes open, sometimes hidden vandalism, theft, sabotage, torture, humiliation, emotional terror, electronic harassment, general harassment. It's extensive.
And who's doing this? Is it just random people?
The account claims it involves ganning up by members of the community, like ordinary people who are following some kind of organizer in what he calls systematic ritualistic persecution.
Ritualistic. Wow. So it's portrayed as this, destructive criminal program built on deception.
Exactly. And this is a really chilling part. He claims it has a virtually traceless protocol for murder.
Wait, a traceless protocol for murder? What does that even mean?
It implies, a level of sophistication and impunity that's hard to fathom. Like they can cause death without leaving obvious evidence, making participants accessories to murder without maybe even realizing the full extent.
That's a massive claim, implying this invisible, highly organized operation.
Precisely. That's the picture painted in the source.
Okay, so the source then breaks down the types of people allegedly involved in this gang stalking. Can you walk us through those categories?
Sure. So first, Tin Mike mentions professional stalkers.
Professionals, meaning?
Meaning they use high-tech gear. He specifically mentions listening devices, see-through wall technology, other spying gadgets.
See-through wall tech? Is that real?
Well, Tim Mike insists it is. He says the patents are out there. It's verifiable, maybe classified or covert, but very real.
Okay. So high-tech professionals. Who else?
Then you have community stalkers, and these are described as just everyday people.
Everyday people, like your neighbors.
Yeah, even mom-and-pop families, as he puts it. He gives this specific example.
Oh, yeah.
He drove to a Mexican restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly these community stalkers park right next to him, give him odd looks, then move their car. One even comes up and asks when the restaurant opens, even though the hours are clearly posted.
Huh. So the point isn't direct confrontation, but psychological intimidation, keeping you off balance.
Exactly. That's how he interprets it. Just
Yeah.
weird, unsettling interactions.
Okay. And the third type.
Gang stalkers. People who, look like gangsters.
Okay, so like stereotypical tough guys.
Yeah. And he suggests this is mostly a psychological effect designed to induce fear, basically.
So you've got the high-tech pros, the unsettling everyday folks, and the intimidating figures. It's quite a mix.
It really is.
And this ties into the concept of street theater, right? Which sounds theatrical. How does that fit in?
Right. Street theater, it's a very vivid claim in the source. It's described as scenarios being reenacted by actors.
Actors.
Yeah, people acting out scenes from the TI's own past
Yeah.
or even recent personal life.
Where? Like on a stage?
No, right out on the street,
Yeah.
in public. Sometimes he claims it's positioned so it gets caught on camera or security footage.
Okay, that's bizarre. What's the supposed purpose of that?
According to the source, it's another form of mind control technique and harassment.
How so?
It's designed to make the TI completely bewildered, asking themselves, how on earth could these strangers know these incredibly private details about my life?
Ah, right. So it's about creating that feeling of total exposure, constant surveillance, making you doubt your own sanity, maybe?
Exactly, causing significant psychological distress, that feeling of being watched and manipulated constantly.
Yeah, you don't need actual magic tech for that feeling to be deeply disturbing. Having your private life performed publicly.
Wow,
Yeah.
absolutely. That feeling alone would be incredibly unsettling for anyone.
Okay, so the source then really ramps things up, moving into directed energy weapons, DEWs. What are these described as, and how are they supposedly used against TIs?
Right, DDWs. They're described as ranged weapon systems, currently non-lethal, that inflict damage using highly focused energy.
Focused energy, like what?
It could be lasers, microwaves, sonic waves, or something called radio frequency electromagnetic radiation, RFMR.
Okay. And the claim is these are being used on people.
Yes, and here's a really alarming claim. The TIs are sometimes used, unwittingly, for weapons testing of new DDW technologies.
Weapons testing on citizens without any.
Without trial, no jury, is the phrase used, just testing grounds.
It's a terrifying thought. TI describes some really intense physical sensations from these alleged weapons. Does the source say why? What's the gain for the perpetrators in causing physical pain like that?
The implication seems to be that it's part of the overall strategy, to break the person down physically and mentally, make them weaker, more vulnerable, easier to push towards those end goals we talked about, institutionalization, suicide, whatever.
It's just relentless pressure.
Seems to be the idea. As for the specific types of DDWs mentioned.
Yeah, let's break those down.
Okay, first, laser guns. Described as military-grade weapons, focused photon beams that can burn a target. He compares it to Star Wars kind of stuff.
Okay, sci-fi stuff, but he claims it's real. What else?
Then, microwave weapons. These supposedly use focused microwaves to, quote, burn the target inside organs by heating them up. He says prolonged exposure could heat or even fry organs. And Timmick shares a personal experience here.
Yeah.
He claims he was shot in the eye with a microwave weapon. Describes it as not fun and hurts like hell.
Yeah.
Said he was also hit in the face, hand, legs, feet.
Ouch. That sounds awful. Are there others?
Yes, sonic weapons. These use sound, both infrasonic, which he says could be heard, and is linked to something called V2K, or voice-to-skull technology.
Voice to skull, like hearing voices.
That seems to be the implication. And also ultrasonic sound, which is too high-pitched to hear, but allegedly causes distortion, sickness, even an urge to throw up.
Okay, so lasers, microwaves, sound. Any others?
One more main category, radio frequency electromagnetic radiation weapons, or RFMR.
RFMR, how do those supposedly work?
These are allegedly deployed via satellite. The idea presented is that 2 or 3 focused radio waves combine to create a carrier frequency.
Okay.
And this carrier frequency hits a specific resonance frequency in the target's body.
Resonance frequency, like making something vibrate.
Exactly. Causing specific organs or body parts to vibrate internally.
Seriously? Does he give examples?
Yeah, he gets quite specific.
Yeah.
Claims frequencies around 20 to 30 hertz cause headaches. 20 to 90 hertz can make your eyes vibrate. Knees or hands might vibrate with 20 hertz and up, or maybe 30 to 50 hertz specifically for hands.
Wow, he has frequencies mapped out. What was his reaction to experiencing this?
It's interesting. He actually says, "What the hell is this stuff?" I was very impressed. The stuff that they did to me was amazing.
Impressed by being targeted.
Yeah, impressed by the technology itself, it seems. Even while describing it as painful and harmful, he concludes by stating his belief that the government is using it and abusing it.
Okay, so beyond the physical, the psychological harassment, the source also talks about online honey traps. What are those?
Yeah, this is another layer. Online honey traps are defined as basically a phishing technique
Fishing for what?
for TIs who are isolated and vulnerable. The goal is to lure them into detrimental relationships online.
Who's doing the luring?
The source claims it's criminals, gang stalkers, perpetrators, agents of ABC agencies, basically. The opposition impersonating other TIs.
Ah, so pretending to be allies, fellow victims.
Exactly, to gain trust. And the ultimate purpose described is incredibly dark.
Darker than the other stuff.
Well, the stated goal is to compromise the TI to the point where they become emotionally unstable, unbalanced, and eventually lead them to suicide.
Good grief. Just manipulation to destruction. Is there a reason given why?
Financial motivation is mentioned. The source calls it a cash cow for perpetrators, claiming a successful suicide hit could be worth thousands of dollars to them.
A cash bounty on suicide. That is chilling.
It really is.
This whole honey trap scenario, it really highlights how psychological manipulation works, doesn't it? Preying on loneliness and vulnerability, we see echoes of that in, regular online scams too, even without the advanced tech claims.
Absolutely. The core dynamic of exploiting trust and isolation is sadly familiar.
But how do these specific TI honey traps supposedly work? You mentioned psychological profiles earlier. How does that fit with, luring someone in? Seems contradictory to a love bomb, someone you want to destroy.
It does seem counterintuitive, right? But here's how T. Mike lays it out. First, these compromised or fake TIs set up shop online. YouTube channels, Facebook pages, whatever.
Right.
They claim victimhood, build credibility, establish themselves as authority figures in the TI community.
Yeah.
Then they leave contact info.
Okay, baiting the hook.
Exactly. Then comes the bond building. This isn't quick. It might be a long-term thing, like 6 months. Lots of love bombing. Intense affection and attention.
And this works because?
Because supposedly they're using that psychological profile gathered earlier. They know exactly what buttons to push, how to seem like the perfect friend or partner, almost too good to be true.
Tailored manipulation.
That's the claim.
Yeah.
And it gets even stranger. The source alleges artificial emotions are showered onto the TI during this phase.
Artificial emotions? How?
Via something called remote neural monitoring, or RNN.
RNN. What's that supposed to be?
T. Mike describes it as advanced technology that allows the perpetrators to essentially tap into the TI senses, see what they see, hear what they hear, and even listen to that person's thoughts.
Whoa! Listen to thoughts. That sounds like mind-reading tech.
Pretty much. He links this capability to a supposed desire by authorities for widespread microchip implants.
Okay, so RNN beams emotions, they build trust. Then what? The trap springs.
Right. Then come the bait-and-switch tactics. Once the TI is emotionally invested, the perpetrator starts messing with them.
How?
Gaslighting, making the TI doubt their reality. Sudden silence, like cutting off contact for days without explanation. Derogatory comments, creating fake drama or scenarios, or just ghosting them completely.
Ah, the rug pull. Designed to destabilize them emotionally after building them up.
Precisely. It's described as pure psychological warfare, carried out by people who are supposedly experts at breaking down individuals. Okay. Given all this intense, multi-layered, alleged targeting physical, psychological, social, what does the source offer in terms of protection? How can TIs fight back or shield themselves? Let's start with those DOWs.
Right, protection. For DOWs, T. Mike suggests some surprisingly low-tech stuff, actually.
Like what?
Aluminum foil. And other metals. He says they're effective against most radio frequencies and microwaves.
The classic foil hat stereotype.
He acknowledges it sounds a little nuts, but insists it works against the majority of weapons allegedly used. Not against ELF waves, extremely low frequency, but most others.
Okay, foil. What else?
Mylar blankets, like those emergency space blankets, use them to block windows or even build a sort of Faraday cage around your bed or sleeping area to block signals.
A makeshift shielded room?
Kind of, yeah. He also mentions living underground, if possible, as microwaves don't penetrate Earth well.
Practical, if difficult, anything you can wear.
He suggests silver-lined clothing, says it offers protection from radio frequencies, like from cell phones or Wi-Fi routers. Interesting. And just general tech hygiene.
Definitely. Turning off devices like Wi-Fi routers when not needed. Keeping your cell phone far away at night, He suggests at least 25 feet to avoid the EMF radiation it emits.
Okay, so shielding materials and reducing exposure. What about fooling the targeting systems themselves? He mentioned AI and manual targeting.
Yeah, he has suggestions for that too, for what he calls AI targeting, which he believes runs 24/7.
Right.
He suggests cutting mylar sheets into thin strips, taping them to the ceiling, and then using a fan to keep them constantly moving.
Moving mylar strips, why?
He claims this creates too much noise for the AI system, too much reflection and movement, so it can't get a stable pinpoint lock on the TI's location within the room.
So visual or electromagnetic clutter to confuse the sensor.
That seems to be the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And for disrupting manual targeting, where a person might be aiming the device,
Yeah.
he recommends using 2 layers of horizontal mylar sheets, again with a fan blowing between them to make them flutter up and down.
Similar principle. Constant movement.
Yeah. He claims this messes up their ability to locate and target effectively, and eventually the perpetrators just give up trying, especially for things like sleep deprivation.
Did he say this worked for him?
He does. He recounts a specific instance where he claims he was being targeted every 4 hours for 2 weeks straight to prevent sleep. And using these Mylar methods finally stopped it and allowed him to rest.
Okay, so those are specific countermeasures.
Yeah.
What about just general well-being, coping with the stress of believing you're under constant attack?
Good question. The source stresses maintaining routine. Keep exercising, try to get regular sleep, continue living your normal life as much as possible. The key message is don't let these people get to you.
Easier said than done, I imagine.
No doubt. He also emphasizes avoiding isolation. Talk to people. Bond with other TIs, although he adds that strong warning about being wary of honey traps when doing so.
Right, a double-edged sword there.
Definitely. Keeping busy is another tip. Reading, watching videos, playing video games, anything to occupy the mind.
Makes sense. Anything physical, supplements, diet.
Yeah, he suggests supplements, vitamins A and C, and general brain health supplements to combat the mental fogginess he attributes to sleep deprivation and electronic harassment.
And diet. You
Yeah.
mentioned non-ionizing radiation earlier.
Right. He recommends a diet focused on green foods, avocados, miso soup, and even iodine tablets.
Iodine. Why?
He claims these foods help the body get rid of that non-ionizing radiation. He describes personally feeling completely electromagnetic sometimes, getting headaches just being near electronics. So the diet is supposed to counteract that.
Okay. Interesting dietary approach. One last thing, those artificial emotions allegedly beamed via RNN, is there a countermeasure for that?
Yes, there is, and it's unusual.
Go on.
He claims you can block these artificial emotions like depression, sadness, or even induced happiness using a high-powered magnet.
A magnet.
Yes, specifically a neodymium supermagnet.
Hmm.
He says you hold it to the back of your head, or you can make a magnetic hat by attaching several magnets to a baseball cap.
A magnetic hat. And this works how?
He claims it just dissipates the artificial emotions right away. The induced feeling, the symptom, just disappears when the magnet is applied.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try to pull this together. What does this all mean for you, the listener? We've really gone deep into one person's compelling and frankly disturbing account of being a targeted individual. Exploring this world described as filled with pervasive surveillance, advanced weapon claims, and really sophisticated psychological manipulation.
It is a deep dive for sure. And it reveals this incredibly personal, very unsettling narrative, doesn't it? It offers this intricate theory, T. Mike's theory, of how a hidden, maybe global system might operate against individuals.
Yeah.
It's definitely a powerful reminder of just how differently people can interpret and describe their experiences, especially in a world that feels increasingly shaped and maybe threatened by technology and unseen information flows.
It certainly is. I mean, the level of detail in the claims directed energy weapons, remote neural monitoring, these elaborate honey trap schemes involving faked emotions, it presents a perspective that really challenges our conventional understanding of, well, reality for these individuals. What really stands out to you from unpacking all this?
For me, it really brings up this fundamental question, when that line blurs the line between someone's internal experience, their thoughts and feelings, and what they perceive as external forces acting upon them, how do people make sense of that?
Right. How do you understand something that feels completely incomprehensible, maybe even impossible by normal standards?
Exactly. How do individuals grapple with that? And how do we, as a society, approach understanding experiences that seem so far outside the norm?
That is a powerful thought to leave things on. How do we understand the incomprehensible? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.